Hi YouTubers, it's your boy Edward Davis. In this video, I want to give a little, background into my life so you can find out who am I, who is Edward Davis. So without further ado, just, give you a little introduction and a little background to me and how I came about and how this website came about. So basically I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. I was born in 1990, if you do the math, that's making me 24, Kobe. I grew up in Atlanta, Georgia. Early age, was a big football, basketball player, fan, whatever you want to call it. As I grew up, but got to about middle school, I started to realize, hey, I might have a future in football. So I stopped playing basketball, baseball, concentrated on football. Ended up going to Southwest DeKalb in Atlanta, Decatur, Georgia. And I transferred over my sophomore year to Stone Mountain in Stone Mountain, Georgia. So got to Stone Mountain, ended up starting as a starting varsity my 10th grade year. I was the quarterback, real excited. Ended up playing, sophomore, junior year, senior year quarterback. Typical high school quarterback. Anyway, always grew up wanting to be play quarterback for the University of Georgia. It didn't happen. Ended up going to Virginia State University. I was real depressed about that on National Signing Day. That feeling will always stay in there. But anyway, ended up going to Virginia State University on supposedly a full scholarship, and that's where my life kind of took a turn for the worst. How I got Virginia State was number one, they promised me a full scholarship. Number two, it was the school that was farthest away from home. Number three, it was the school that felt like out of all the schools that was recruiting me, they wanted me the most. The number one reason why was because of the offensive coordinator at the time. I'm not going to say his name. I don't want any lawsuits or anything like that. But he was from Atlanta, Georgia, just like me. He actually attended the high school that I went to when I was, in high school, my freshman year. So he basically told me that you're going to start as a freshman. I run a spread offense. All my quarterbacks, win conference player of the year. Every year, just come here. I'm going to take care of you. And basically, I took the bait. It seemed like a good decision. I really didn't have too many other people to talk to. I talked to, my family members said this is going to, the most important decision you make in your life. So we want to stay out of it. We're going to let you make the decision. So come signing day, like I said, I signed at Virginia State University. Oh man, what experience that was. Got there, it was kind of rough, to be honest. Started bad. I remember before camp even started to get validated, I was short $1,000. That's when I should have known I was in the wrong school system, or wrong college. But, overlooked it. I was like, only $1,000, it's okay. Signed a little, loan for $1,000, that's nothing. So ended up playing, started the first game of the year. I was a true freshman quarterback. I was really excited about that. Ended up not having a good game, so I got replaced. And fast forward to the end of the football season, I ended up, I was the backup pretty much the whole season. Come the end of the football season, the head coach pulled me in his office and he said, hey, congratulations, you have a 3.0. I was like, great. He said, now you qualify for book money. Well, some academic scholarship that'll basically give me half of my tuition. So I was like, okay, well, great. I was thinking that was going to come out of pocket, refund check. But at schools like that, they was not for that. So instead, he said, we're just going to take half of your football money and replace it with this book money, and we're going to give this other half, to some other players who might need money. And I was like, okay, that's not sounds like a good cause. Help other people out, lighten the load for someone else. But I asked him, I said, Coach, now what happens if my 3.0 drops to 2.9 and I lose that academic scholarship? What's going to happen to my scholarship, my football money? He said, don't worry about it. We're going to give that back to you no matter what. I said, are you sure? He said, yes. I said, well, all right, Coach, I have no problem with that. Left out, I felt good. I was helping somebody else go to school. But unfortunately, I was being lied to. Went down to the locker room and I was telling a couple of the senior players, about what me and the coach just talked to in the office. And they told me that, they let me in on a little secret. That basically the coach had been doing that for years. He was basically bringing players to the school and then finding any reason to take money away from them to bring other players in. This was kind of hard for me to take. I didn't want to see my coach in that light. I didn't think a man would do that to other people, to, the kids' lives. But they had a way to prove it to me. They actually let me listen to a song called Two A Days Make You Stronger by the rapper Wale. He actually attended Virginia State when he was a freshman, sophomore in college. And basically throughout the whole song, he was calling out the head football coach, which was my football coach, and basically saying the same things that these seniors were saying that he was doing. I was shocked. After that day, I remember I was saying, no matter what I do in football, I'm going to keep this 3.0. Because I know that this coach has some other things that he has going on. So from that day forward, I always had my grades. I always kept the grades going. But anyway, I feel like I'm just talking forever. This video is going too long, so I'm going to try to hurry up. Basically, sophomore year comes, the end of sophomore year. I got in a little trouble. What did I do sophomore year? I missed the football practice. And what else I do? I got in trouble in my dorm doing something. It wasn't nothing big. It wasn't, weed or anything. Like, I never missed suspended or anything like that. It's just some minor thing that any reason for the coach to, take my money. So in the sophomore year exit interview, coaches, called me in his office again. He said, hey, you remember when you missed practice? You remember when you got in trouble in the dorm? I was like, yes. He was like, okay, yeah, we're going to have to take half your football money. I was like, whoa, half? Because I missed one practice and I got half of my money? He was like, yeah, we're going to take half of it. I was like, okay, well, cool. Let's do this. You take half of the full scholarship that you originally gave me. Don't take half of the half that I have now. He said, no. He said, I got to take half of what you have already. So if you do the math, that's half of 50%. So they was leaving me with 25% of the money that they offered me as a freshman. I was left with 25% of the money. Wow. I didn't know what to do. I felt like I couldn't transfer because I didn't have any footage. Where I'm going to go when anybody offered me the money? I didn't know what else to do. So I went back and forth with the decision, and finally ultimately came up with the decision. I'm not going to play football anymore. I remember that day, and I really felt bad because I felt like my career wasn't supposed to end like that. I was supposed to at least, be on somebody's practice squad somewhere, if not in the NFL starting. But there I was, a regular student for the first time in my life. So what I did was, to stay in school, I forfeited my on-campus housing, and I actually moved in with my girlfriend at the time. So thankful for her. I moved in with my girlfriend at the time, and I just became a regular student. I went to school in the daytime, worked at Buffalo Wild Wings and other places at night to, pay the bills. Once I graduated, like I said, I became a high school PE teacher at a local high school down here in Atlanta. And I remember on the first day, I was introducing myself to my students, hey, Edward Davis, one of the guys there, he must have been on the football team. He said, hey, coach, did you used to play football? And I was like, yeah, I used to play quarterback at Virginia State University. And he was saying, well, why you didn't make it to the pros? And I'm a very prideful guy. I didn't want to, just say the bust my knee out, or, the coach ain't like me. I really wanted to sit down and explain to him what went on. So that's what I did. And I broke it down to him. And I remember at the end of the conversation, he kind of, I could tell I got through to him, and he looked at me. He was looked at me in the eye. He was like, Coach, I appreciate you. I appreciate you telling me this, because I'm on the way, go to Fort Valley University. And I want to say thank you for that. So now when I go to school, I can be on the lookout for things like this. And that's when I knew I needed to pass this information on to the student athletes up and coming, so that what happened to me won't happen to anybody else. That's a little background into my life and my story. And I hope you found, you can, find something out of that you might find useful. From here on out, I'm going to try my best to no longer talk about me, because my football career is over. Now it's all about you. So I hope you find all the information in my next couple of videos beneficial, but this was just basically an introduction. Like I always say, one take, shawty. That's one take. That's all I'm doing. One take. So if any information was in here, you know, if I'm jumbled up, I'm sorry. I'm only taking one take, so I apologize for any mistakes or any problems with the videos you might hear. But that's not important. Basically, I just want you to get this information so you can make the right decisions and have a good life. Thank you, and you have a good day.